Hey guys, welcome to Get Busy Watching. I just got a brand spanking new green screen. I have no idea what I'm going to use it for, but I got one. I'm your host, Honest Dan. Let's talk movies. For my opinion on the first film, check out my video, link in the description. Summed up, I actually liked the first movie. I don't love it, but I liked it enough that I'm actually kind of looking forward to this one. Truth be told, I don't exactly have the highest expectations for this movie, but I will accept it if it's simply subpar, because I've seen Pluto Nash. If it's better than Pluto Nash, I'll take it. Basically what I thought to myself was, be something that I would have enjoyed back in the 90s. If you can do that, I'll consider it a win. How does it live up to those expectations? Let's find out. This is my honest opinion of Coming to America. "30 years after the events of the first film, Prince Akeem, played by Eddie Murphy, is now the king of Zamunda after the passing of his father, Jaffe Joffer, played by James Earl Jones. However, this has painted a target on Akeem's head, almost literally, when General Izzy, played by Wesley Snipes, of the neighboring Nextdoria, demands a union between the two nations. The general's daughter and Akeem's son. Problem is, Akeem has no sons, only 3 daughters, but recently learned that he sired a son that he didn't know about, named Lavelle, played by Jermaine Fowler, and is still in Brooklyn, New York. Should the marriage not take place, Akeem will be assassinated. Desperate to not let that happen, he returns to New York to look for his missing son and bring him back to Zamunda.
What kind of man do you think he is? This bastard.
If he has Joffa blood running through his veins, I'm sure he's destined for greatness.
Yeah, I'll take it. Honestly, I will. I've seen far worse from Eddie Murphy. Long and short, no, it's not better than the first movie. I think any one of us could have figured that one out. And for all intents and purposes, it's really not even all that good. But it did get some laughs out of me, and I don't hate it. It is kind of a rehash of the first movie. Akeem goes to America to look for someone that he doesn't know. Fish out of water romance story, kind of. But this does do a few things that I appreciate. While Akeem does go to New York to fetch his son, we surprisingly spend very little time in New York. Actually, most of the story takes place in Zamunda, and I really like that. We get to see more of this country, dive into this culture, as silly as it gets.
Only when you can retrieve the whiskers from a resting lion will you be ready to become prince. This is a joke.
So it's something else to look at other than the grimy streets of New York. We've been there, did that, got the t-shirts. I can see some viewers going, well, why is it called Coming to America if it's not set in America? And to that I say, I don't care. I didn't want the same movie as the first one, and this was a good compromise.
Ain't happening like that, man. I'm not hopping on some plane flying across the world without my mother. All right? She coming.
So be it.
So be it. So be it.
Yes, this is a very predictable story. As soon as the pieces are set up, you know exactly what's going to happen. You've got the eldest daughter who's been training her entire life to take over, but she's been sidelined for this boy that none of them truly know. Gee, I wonder how this is going to be resolved. The suspense is killing me. But I do admit, Fowler is actually kind of a charismatic actor and carries his role very well as this guy who is enjoying this life and the idea of being a prince.
What? Look at this boy egg.
I admit it's a shame that some of the major players in this have very little character to them. Mika, played by Kiki Lane, should have had more depth to her and more screen time. Yes, it would have overcrowded the story, but a big part of it is how her chance at the throne was robbed from her, and all we see is her looking mad about it. There's only one scene where she and Lavelle interact with each other, and all of a sudden, they're friends, and she's helping them out with their customs. Where did that come from?
It is not fair for me to blame you for my father's mistake. Not that you are a mistake. Well, you kind of are a mistake.
Okay, I get it. Aight.
I wasn't thrilled about the return of the barbershop guys or the pervy preacher dude, but everyone else was actually a welcome sight. I loved seeing Shari Headley again, especially when her character is allowed to shine.
What you doing? Cause I'm about to ruin the image and the style that you used to. I look funny. But yo, I'm making money, see, so the whole world look around for me.
Paul Bates as Oha, Wesley Snipes stole the show a couple of times. Vanessa Bell Calloway as Imani Izzy, still doing her dog barking and hopping on one foot gag 30 years later, that admittedly got me rolling. And I have to admit, I had a bit of fun at the mock funeral for King Jaffe, especially when Morgan Freeman showed up. Because of course Morgan Freeman would show up at the funeral for James Earl Jones to say something beautiful.
When he died, no one ever smiled again. Vacations were canceled, holidays ignored. People didn't even have sex anymore.
Nothing stands out as particularly bad to me. I mean, some jokes are definitely just repeats of the first film, like the overly subservient wife gag.
Yes, I know this, but I would like to know about you. What do you like to do?
Whatever you like.
What kind of music do you like?
Whatever kind of music you like.
What do you like?
Whatever you like.
Okay, I'll back up. Boboto, what's your favorite movie?
Whatever is your favorite movie?
Some dialogue is repeated as well here and there, and it's definitely a shame to see how they backtracked on Akeem's character, who was so likable in the first film, but now he's just kind of being a coward and just covering his own ass. I really hate when sequels do that sort of thing, where you set up a character who's really well written and well rounded, but then they regress into being very unlikable characters. That was really annoying for this, and definitely worth docking a point or two. Hell, now that I think about it, I feel like the assassination subplot against Akeem is kind of overlooked. It's not given any real urgency as soon as we get back to Zamunda, so I'm never really worried about his safety. Yeah, I'd still say it's worth checking out. Hey, it's leagues better than what Murphy was churning out before he took his break. So as far as I'm concerned, that alone makes this movie worth giving a shot. I still might recommend keeping expectations pretty low, especially if you were a fan of the first movie. It's not as good, not as funny, but it has its moments, and I firmly believe that. Take it for what you will. My honest rating for Coming to America, a strong 3 out of 5. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. I really appreciate it. Have a great day. Stay safe and healthy out there. Please wear a mask if you go out. Hope to see you soon.